Okay, well, the power is out and you're setting up your communications equipment, perhaps some other items that are electronic in nature to help out, and you have a failure in one of your pieces of equipment. And you look at it and say, gosh, that's something I could fix. How do you do it if you don't have power and you haven't put away a small electronics kit? Well, this is my idea for a grid-down electronics repair kit. Let's open it up and take a look at what's inside. All right, this is going to be a fair amount of equipment to put out in front of such a small screen, so we'll do it piecemeal. Get this out of the way real quick. This is a can of Bernzomatic butane, or any brand butane, and get the biggest can you can. And actually, I'd have a number of these put away, but I'd have one of them living in the kit, so when you need it, it's there. And this is what powers the soldering iron, and we'll get to that in a minute. Now this bag, I always buy these whenever they're in stock at Home Depot, and I like them because they've got a little window pocket here. I use them to organize my radio equipment and some other items. I have a little form that I print and just slide the label in. And the nice thing about them, these are document pouches. There's a little pocket on the inside and then a bigger pocket. But what I like about them is their size. They've got a bellowed bottom and they'll stand up. And I'll do another video, but I have a military aluminum can where a number of these will sit, and I can look through and find what item I need, sort of like a drawer, pull it out and use it. But these are quite handy for a lot of things. So, document bag from Home Depot. The next big item in there, and you'll notice that I have things organized in Ziploc bags, much as I think of the big bag as a drawer, part of the organizing theme. I organize inside with bags, and then inside the bags I've got more bags that are acting as storage compartments, and this gives me a lot of flexibility in terms of how I slide things around to get a nice thin package. The big box in here is a Bernzomatic soldering iron. Now I went with a gas-powered soldering iron just with the idea of power down. I don't want to waste any 12-volt power I have either through an inverter or some other system for a soldering iron, but this combination works out really well. And I got this at a local hardware store, actually where my son is working at Orchard Supply, but these are available everywhere. It comes with a soldering tip, there's a blowtorch tip, there's some rosin core solder, and there's a little sponge that you can get wet to help clean your tips, and it's a nice little package. If you needed more space in this bag, you could certainly get rid of the box and put this in a plastic bag, but I think this case fits fine and it keeps everything organized and, more importantly, keeps the soldering iron protected. Now I got the majority of these items at Harbor Freight, and I think they've got some fairly good items. You got to be careful, just like anywhere else, what you buy. But the whole point about this kit was to be as low cost as possible, to be as compact as possible, but to give me as much capability as I could get in this bag. So I think an important piece of kit is going to be a good multimeter, and I got this at Harbor Freight. Granted, it's not the best one in the world, but I think in a pinch this will be more than adequate. Remember, this is not a multi-purpose tool kit, but this is an electronic repair kit. So there's needle nose pliers, there is a flush cutting wire nipper, there's a multi-sized wire stripper, and then I added a butane lighter, a good roll of black electrical tape, and I put it in this bag just to keep it from getting anything stuck to the outside edge, which happens if you just leave one of these rolls of tape laying around. Now this is a set of screwdrivers that range in size from small to medium, flat blade, and a couple of small Phillips drivers. And the nice thing about these is they have a little fingertip rest, and these are good for opening up small cases if you have to get inside to do any kind of repair. Now the last bag is kind of a bag of different types of supplies that are going to be helpful, and we'll open that up. Basically, they're crimp-on connectors and shrink tubing in a small flat package. And again, I use the theme of these heavy-duty 4mm polyethylene bags and different sizes of heat shrink tubing to do repairs. Now, the only thing that I can think that I need to add right now as I'm going through this list is a couple of spools of hookup wire, red and black and perhaps green. One little trick I do is you'll notice these are of different thicknesses, as I will alternate these to keep the package flat and as compact as possible. And that is a very nice, compact, grid-down electronics repair kit.